go! Wow! Say Bray.
Say cheese.
Bray. Say cheese. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your girl Valerie here. Valerie. It's your girl Valerie here and I am bringing to you a story time, okay? As you guys all know, I am a twin mother and I just want to share my labor experience and my labor and delivery story with you all. So grab your popcorn, get your tissues because it might get a little emotional. And let's just start. But before we start, if you are new to my channel, hey, how are you doing? I hope all is well. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you. I bring to you all vlogs, lifestyle, and mommyhood, basically. You know, I am, yeah. So let's start because I got some tea for y'all. This was really like, this is a big story time. Let's just begin, right? So 4th of July, I got drunk, right? And I couldn't hold my liquor down. And this was 2018. I couldn't hold my liquor down. And I was just like, something is wrong. Something is not right. The next day on the 5th, I took a pregnancy test that I had in my drawer. And it came back positive, right? And so I'm happy, he's happy. And we went to go do our 6-week checkup, so they say, right? And then the lady that was doing our checkup, she was quiet, and I'm like, is everything okay? She's like, everything's fine, everything's fine. We're going to send your scans to your doctor. He's going to give you a call. So I was like, okay, whatever. So maybe like a week, maybe not even a week, 4 days or so max, he calls me. He was like, hey, Mrs. Harris. I'm like, what's going on, Mr. I forget his name, Mr. B or whatever. And he was like, we detected 2 heartbeats in your scans. And I'm like, excuse me? He said, you're having twins. I said, no, I'm not. He said, you are having twins, ma'am. Like, you're having twins. I said, see, this is the reason why I'm about to stop making you my doctor, because you're starting off this relationship with lying, and I don't appreciate that. And he started slapping. He was like, I'm not lying to you. You're really having twins. So I'm like, I'm having twins? I called my husband. I'm like, babe, they said they saw 2 heartbeats. He was like, you're lying. He was at work. I'm at work. I'm busy. I'm going to call you. I'm going to see when I get home. He came home. He didn't even say hi. He said, let me see them scans. I showed him the scans. He was like, wow. And I'm like, we're having twins, right? It was so crazy. From that moment on, I'm like, oh, I need God. I need God more than ever, because twins, I got to push 2 people out. I got to push them out twice. Oh, no. Not me, beloved, not me, right? I was sick. I was sick for a very, very long time, to the point I was hospitalized about 3 times. I was sick in the beginning, right? And then I took the medicine called Dicleges, where it was helping me with my appetite to stay down. So that was like a plus. That was like a blessing, because I looked like a stick compared to what I look like now, because I couldn't keep nothing down. Like, nothing at all would stay in my system. I was throwing everything up. I was throwing up spit. Like, it was that bad. So 8 months now, we're here. It's February 22nd. It's my birthday. And I had to go for my last checkup. I had switched doctors because I just really wanted a black doctor. I felt more comfortable with a black doctor. So I went to my doctor's appointments, and she was like, you know, talking, but she wasn't the same. So I'm like, Miss Roberts, what's going on? And I'm like, before we even start, could you please strip my membranes, because I'm over being pregnant. I want to start the process. I don't want to wait till March 14th. That was my original due date. And she was like, I have some bad news for you. So I was like, what? And she was like, we did your ultrasound, you know, 2 weeks ago, and we saw that baby B was transverse. If you guys don't know, transverse, he was laying side to side, which was Bryson. Yeah, he was laying side to side, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe he just doesn't have no room, you know, like, so what are you trying to say? And she was like, we have to schedule a C-section. I said, no, we don't. Like, why do we have to schedule a C-section for it? She was like, because he's transverse and we don't want to put no more pressure on baby A and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, well, maybe when I push baby A out, can't baby B turn around and then push out too? And she was like, yeah, we could do that, but we don't want to risk. We don't want to risk. What don't you want to risk? This man, if you guys know my son, he is tall and lanky. He probably just really wanted to stretch out. He was tired of being a little ball, facing head down, and he just wanted to stretch out. So like, give him a chance to just do what he has to do. And she was like, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to put you through too much pain. You're already talking about having a natural birth. I don't want to do that to you. And so I'm just like, yo, this cannot be. Mind you, I had my mind set on pushing out of my vagina. I had my mind set on giving birth naturally. I had my mind set. Nothing in my mind said C-section. Nothing in my mind said schedule C-section. Nothing in my mind said nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm crying inside the room and I'm like, Miss Roberts, I don't want to do it. Like, I really, really don't want to do it. And she was like, you have to do it. If you can't do it, we can't take you here. We can't admit you here. So I'm like, well, can I go to another hospital? She said, no other hospital is going to take you at such a late term like this. You're 8.5 months. I'm like, bro, you're not making no sense. I started getting vexed with her a little bit. So I was like, no, like, I really, really want to push. So I was like, could you try to switch, like, you know, turn my stomach around? They had like this little exercise. I don't even know what to call it, but they know how to turn a baby from that sideways back into like head first. So she was like, I don't want to risk switching baby A and he's now transverse, and now you have just, you know, switched baby B to being head first and then baby A transfers. So basically she was just giving me like excuses on top of excuses, girl. So I was like, all right, well, I mean, there's no other options, right? So she was like, yeah. So we scheduled a C-section. At that point I said, you know what, give me the earliest date because I don't want to be pregnant no more. And I was so mad because I felt like a failure. I'm gonna get to that point later, but I felt like a failure because I was like, all I had on my mind was to push, right? I didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do it at all. I was so pissed off. First called my mom and I'm telling her, and she was like, you know what, God is with you. Everything will be all right. You know, just breathe and everything. Like, I'm crying to her. She's like, you know, just calm down, relax, whatever, right? So if y'all don't know, my mom is in Africa. Another story for another day. So my father, I called him now and I'm like, hey dad, I'm telling him everything, the news, and it hurt when he told me, you're not woman enough if you get a C-section. Like, you're not a full woman if you have to get a C-section. When he said that, y'all, I almost fell out because I'm like, I already feel like a failure. I already feel like I couldn't do it. I already feel like my body wasn't up to do it. And then for him to tell me that I'm not a woman, I'm not a full woman because I didn't push them out, like I had to get a C-section. It's like I got the easy way out in a sense. I was heartbroken. I was so upset. I cried. I cried so bad. I felt useless. Like, I'm worthless because I had to get a C-section, right? So they're prepping me to get the C-section. I had to go back the next day or maybe like a couple days later, and I had to take I had to do a couple of blood tests and give some blood, and then I had to like get like these prep me with like a certain soap I had to use, and they're giving me instructions to prep myself for the C-section, right? Before let me tell you guys, before I could leave the hospital, they told me to go to the billing department. I'm like, for what? They said, before we open you up, we must have the right, you know, money. We must know that you're going to pay for it. So I was like, I got insurance. They said, oh, we have to make sure everything is verified so we can get the ball rolling. So I'm like, so y'all mean to tell me y'all not going to cut me up until my bill is like handled? They were like, yeah. Oh, okay, great, cool. So now I go to the billing department with an attitude, because at this point you're playing in my face. One, I couldn't push my kids out. Two, y'all making me get the C-section and now y'all so worried about some money? Oh, okay, watch what I do. So I get to the department and she's like, oh, Valerie Harris, date of birth, yada, 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 yada. Let me see a form of payment. Y'all, my insurance didn't cover, the full amount, okay? My insurance probably covered like 97%. I had to pay the other 3% out of pocket. So if y'all don't know, C-sections is more expensive than pushing out. Y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all forced me to get a C-section, right? Then y'all having me pay, and then because I don't have all the money on my insurance, y'all not gonna open me up, y'all not gonna help me deliver these babies until it's paid? Okay, so the balance I had to pay was $450. I paid it. I gave them, but the way I paid, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I gave it the attitude. I threw it. Like, here you go. Now give me my receipt so I could dip. You know what I'm saying? I really was ignorant back then, and I was so upset because why? I'm trying to push. Work with me here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to push. Fast forward to March 3rd. I couldn't eat after 12 midnight. I used to eat like in the middle of the night. Barbecue chips and lemonade. That was my go-to. So my time for my surgery was 8. I had to be there by 8:30 a.m. right? So I had to wake up at 6:30. I'm grumpy. Wake up 6:30. I couldn't use no other soap. They had to give me like this antibacterial soap. So didn't eat, grumpy. Babies is kicking. They already knew, I think they knew that they were coming out. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Before I left, I took my last baby bump picture. I was huge, right? I'm there. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, the way that I was feeling, I was terrified. Because I'm like, dog, I could die. I'm gonna be honest. I said, I could die on this table. I can die. Like, I could die. That's all I kept thinking, right? And so I'm getting there. They setting me up. They put me inside the waiting room first so that they can like put they can numb me. I didn't use epidural. I used Novocaine. Novocaine is another type of numbing thing, but it worked perfectly for me because I told them I can't do epidural. Like, I heard about the side effects later down the road. I don't want that. So I said, give me Novocaine. So they gave me Novocaine, and I went completely numb from like my waist down all the way to my feet. I couldn't feel not a thing. So it was time for me. They rolling me into the waiting room. I mean, into the surgery room now. It was time for me to go in there, and all I remember was I'm holding Duran hand, and I'm like, baby, I love you so much, and you know, whatever happens next, like, just know that I'm proud of you. And he's telling me he's proud of me, and I'm just like, yo, for real. I get in there, it's just bright. It's bright as hell in there. You know, I thought I saw the light. I ain't even gonna lie. I said, damn, God, you want to be that? Like, for real. But yeah, so Miss Roberts, my doctor, walks in. Mind you, there's like 5 nurses for one baby, 5 nurses for the other baby, 4 other nurses for me, 1 anesthesiologist, my doctor, another doctor. It was like 15 heads in there. I'm like, bro, am I a celebrity? What's going on? What's up, right? Y'all want to chill with the big boys, like, what's up, what's going on? So she was like, are you ready? I'm like, how long is this gonna take? She was like, no more than like 15-20 minutes, maybe even less than that. So I was like, all right, boom. So then she was like, I'm cutting. She was like, I'm cutting you. One thing I could say about Miss Roberts, she was definitely telling me every time she was cutting me what she was doing or whatever, right? So she started saying, I'm about to cut you. So I was like, all right, cool. Child, it was time for her to cut me. She cut me that one time. I started throwing up. I said, why am I throwing up? She's like, that's normal. Child, I said, okay. My blood pressure was elevating a little tiny bit. She was like, I'm cutting again. So she's cut. And then she's like, I'm about to spread you. So she had clamps and another clamp, and she's opening me up. I'm seeing her open me up. I don't see the actual, like, what she's doing because they have like this white, not a drape. It's like a curtain, but it was clear. But at the bottom, it was like dark. So it was like clear up top, but at the bottom it was dark. So I was like, all right. So I'm seeing her hands move, but I'm not seeing exactly what she's cutting or what's going on down there. So I'm telling Ron to look, but he's saying no, like he's not looking right. I just felt pressure. That Novocaine was a numbing cream for real because I didn't feel nothing. I just felt pressure. I felt the tug, I felt the pull, but I didn't feel pain, if that makes sense. Like, I felt everything, but I didn't feel the pain part. So she was like, all right, I'm going inside the sack. I think that's what she said, the sack or something like that. And she's like, I'm getting baby A out. She took baby A out. He all pink and white. She picked him up like this, and I'm just like, that's my son. And she was like, yeah, this baby A. And she like smacked the butt a little bit, and he's like, so I'm looking like, all right, here I am crying. I got my babies. My babies is here. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I just kept saying, thank you, God. I just kept saying, thank you, God, right? And he had this, I will never forget, he had curly hair, bro. Like, curly, moist hair, and he just looks so light skinned, right? He came out at 11:30, Braylen, baby A. He came out at 11:30 a.m. and at 11:32, Bryson came out, baby B. And when she picked him up, he still was sideways. So I was just like, oh man, my baby, he's linky, he's crying. He just like opened his eyes a little bit, like, but you know, they can't see nothing. So I'm crying, he's crying. Deron, he not even crying. Deron just looking at me, then looking at the boys. I said, go check on them kids, go check on them kids right now, walk over there. So then he walks over there, and you know, he's saying they're so beautiful, they're so handsome, you know, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I just want to see my kids. So they finally, like, you know, put them in blankets and they brought them over to me, and I'm just looking, I'm crying, and Deron be taking the pictures and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? As much as I didn't want to get a C-section, I knew all I wanted was for my kids to be safe and healthy. All I wanted was for them to come out. So when I saw their faces, when I saw them breathing, when I saw them crying, I mean, when I heard them crying, I was at ease. Like, forget everything I just said last week. Forget everything I just literally said this morning. My kids are here, and that's all that matters. And ever since then, I always look at my scar and I always say, thank you, God, because he chose me. Like, he chose me to be he chose me to be a light and to talk about C-sections, because a lot of people, a lot of females, they feel like they didn't do it the correct way. They feel as though C-section is the easy way out, when whole time, for real, C-section is probably one of the hardest things a female can ever get, like, do. Nobody talks about the aftermath of having a C-section. Nobody talks about the fact that as soon as you go back into your room, they want you to walk. You just got cut into different layers of your skin, okay? You just got opened up. You just got stitched up, and they want you to walk 2 hours later. I'm in pain. They want you to poop. They want you to do all these things. You know, nobody talks about the fact that when you get home, you can't get out of your bed. You can't move how you want. So imagine me. I have twins. I'm at home. They're crying here, they're crying over there, and I have to get out of bed, and I'm like, like, that was me for 6 weeks because I was in so much pain. The pain was like unbearable. I don't like pills. I don't like to take no medicine or nothing like that. So I literally was dealing with the pain. On top of breastfeeding. on top of making sure that God used me. Like, he literally was like, nah, your way ain't gonna get me the glory. My way is going to get me the glory, because I'm gonna make sure that you go through all these things so that you can speak on it. Like, you know these things because you had to go through it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, my labor and delivery may have not been the story that I wanted, but it was the story that I needed, because it literally showed me how much of a powerful, strong woman I am, how much I can endure, how much I can take. It literally opened up a new, like, attitude for me. Shout out to all the C-section mothers, because we are powerful than we think, and we're not useless. We're not failures. We're not unworthy. We're not less than a female. We're not none of that. The same other female who pushed a baby out her vagina, you did a great job. But the same girl that got a C-section, baby girl, you did a great job. You did everything that you could to get that baby out safe and sound, safe and healthy. So don't beat yourself up, sis. I'm not getting a C-section again. I know that much, because I know what I can do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to open up. I'm doing a water birth for my next child and next child. I'm doing an at-home water birth. Like, I'm not going to no hospitals, because I see that these hospitals, all they like is money. They like money, okay? They like money. And me, I ain't got no money for you. I got money, but I ain't got no money for you. Like, you gonna have to go somewhere else. So I'm doing it at the peace of my home with my doula, and we gonna keep it like that. My labor and delivery was a bit tough, but I got through it. And I'm so happy. Y'all don't understand. Like, my kid's birthday is today. They turned 3 years old. They're healthy. They're smart. They're talented. They're handsome. They're so kind. They're so, like, loving. I got the best kids in the world, and I would never switch out how I brought them into the world. Like, I just would never switch out. My story couldn't compare to the joy. Like, it's like I went through all that, and I got the best reward after. My kids and our bond is so, like, is so strong. You know what I'm saying? My love for me grew because I endured, okay? Like, and I let it really shaped me into the new woman that I was becoming. And so, listen, before I start crying, I can't mess up my makeup because I really look good. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to all the C-section mothers, and shout out to the ones who gave birth vaginally. Like, we all are women at the end of the day. Listen. God, I thank you. That's all. Like, oh, I thank you. Like, that's all I can say. I really do. But that is it for my labor and delivery story. I'm not gonna cry because I'm just not gonna cry. Like, I look too good to be no, but no, seriously. That's all I got for you guys. That was my labor and delivery story. C-section mom here, and I would never trade my story in for nothing else, like ever. Nothing. It happened for a reason, and I'm happy that it happened because here I am. I love you guys. See you guys soon. Bye.